nobody falls in love with their brain. I don't know. People don't call for me. If you fall in love with your clear eyes, you will see a lot of things. You know, someone once told me that if you know everything you need to know about the person you want to get married to, my darling, you will not get married to.
So that's why I said the basic things.
So
everything. So I said the basic things. And I said that when you are falling in love with someone, when your heart falls in love, make sure that your brain is there to make you act.
You should not be carried away. Don't be carried away and be separate.
Because sometimes people they get carried away. Marriage happen and like I've seen young couples say, I just don't know how I got here. How did I ever get here? Because the flow of that love emotion, want to marry, you are in love and stuff, sometimes don't make people ask the basic questions. That's why we advocate that please do a thorough pre-marriage counseling class. But do as many as you can. Like for people,
how many people
attend counseling?
We still have some people that
even with that.
Now when just counseling,
once you have
and still have issues.
Now I'm going somewhere. It's a thought flow, a flow of thought. Once you have done it after marriage, there's something called pre-marriage counseling. Because as issues arise, you fix it. Have somebody that you are accountable to. When the two of you look like issue, you are not resolving together. There should be that person.
One person
that's not your family member. And you call the person and say, sir, you come by in Mali and roll, long for an issue. They will share with you from experiences. You will learn, you will improve. Because we learn as time. In fact, the most important marriage counseling is the one that happens in marriage. Post-marriage counseling. So that's when you see so many things that you don't see.
Yeah.
And then
you can see it all.
Of course.
If
you ask the basic question about
let me ask you, what are the basic things you need to know?
Find out if it's a family where they like to live with each other. Maybe after I've got married, they'll say, that's why my mom stayed with my elder brother.
At least from one conversation to the other, you.
Or not to the other brother.
Yeah.
Married by let's assume that probably the parents live in a 2-bedroom apartment and they have like 7 or 8 siblings. And then we are now marrying one of them. To what you are married, so that's where you know how to resolve it.
You see,
how
I
you
just
fix it.
feel this institution of marriage is just so wide.
It's wide.
And it's
wide.
peculiar to different people. It's a different side too.
That's why most of the time, even when I go for all these marriage talks and somebody comes on stage and like in my house, my husband, me and my husband, we don't sleep, arguing, we don't do this.
One side.
It's a lie. You see those motivational speakers there? What they go through.
Some of these are motivational speakers too. They don't help matter. You know, all these things they watch in Nollywood movies, they will now come on stage and start telling you. You see my husband, we sing for each other, we do this for
if you want to know, early morning before 6, go and visit them. You know what is going on in the house.
I don't look at people's I do my thing. My husband does his thing. My husband is even a kind of person that doesn't talk. He's a very quiet person. He can be in this whole house for 1 year and nobody will know. So, you know, we do what works for us.
Exactly. So I was going to say that it largely depends on personalities.
Yeah, personality.
Personalities, different people, different marriage and backgrounds.
And this third party we are talking about, some people, it's not a third party thing for them. They don't see it as third party. Especially when you come from a wealthy home where, you know, when you're looking at the Davido's family and you're seeing all of them together and they're having parties and everybody comes together. You understand what I'm trying to say? You know? So to them, it's not a third party. It's like we are having hangouts, family hangouts. So it's not a third party.
So even to that one, I would actually say it's a third party.
To every marriage or to everything we are talking about, every relationship, people should learn to mind their boundaries.
Exactly.
Let's take it. You know, we still have a guest joining us. Don't worry, we have a guest joining us. So why you guys say we can see people don't know? All right, we are going to throw those questions to him, and his Emperor was to join us. He said the plane that he took, he's flying in. They want to stop in the air to buy fuel. So,
oh my God,
buy gala too.
Buy gala.
Because there is another integral part of marriage that we're going to discuss. But we want him to join us before we talk about it.
Okay.
That's the film we are reviewing. That's Weight of Pain. Oh my god. Do you see the comments on that film? Do you see the comment people the way they are latching at that guy? The Jude guy, the
Jude
guy.
guy.
Jude.
So these are the things that we're going to talk about. And so just stay with us as we go on the short break. All right. Welcome back from that short break. And like I said, I told you that Emperor will be joining us and he's looking more glammed out. You guys welcome for us. The last episode we did it was fire. So fire. So today, right, I'm sure there's fire. People outside with execution. So I get the execution. So fire today. All right, so Emperor, do you want to greet the people?
Yes, thank you everyone for staying tuned. We promise it's going to be another exciting edition.
He said what he said. All right, so Emperor, we're talking on. We've reviewed third party, and now I want to talk on another production from Paris Pictures Productions. Look at that's Weight of Pain. So I'm sure you have watched it. So there is this particular person in that film that everybody, the guy reached out to me, said they want to finish him off and they are coming for him physically, like everybody's attacking him, that the role he played, because he made his wife to commit 5 abortions. He was on the 6th abortion. So what do you say to men who don't want to work? I know, I don't want. You are not.
Can you just ask the question without taking it too personal?
No, Emperor. Okay, all right, Emperor. We have talk.
I have seen other people's comments about this guy. People are really coming for him. And man was just doing his job. What I like to think this type of things happen in real life. Well, as I saw the movie, what came to my mind was, okay, how did he get to that point? How did their marriage even get to that point in the first place? I saw the role the mother played. I was also asking that mother, is that how she will behave if that were to be her daughter?
Exactly.
So, but how, let's leave the mother out of it now, but the two of them, how did they get to that point? What were the conversations they had, before getting married? How did they get married? Did they meet on Facebook?
Are you saying Facebook is not a good platform?
No, I'm not saying Facebook is a very good platform. Paris Picture is doing good on Facebook. Shout out to all our fans.
Yeah.
But then my point is that people have to make nice conversations. It's possible to get married. When I got married, my best man got married almost 2 years later. He was already under pressure because we grew up together, and his parents were like, "Oh, Sheena has gotten married. You too, you have to get married." I mean, by the time he got back, he got married and he said, "Man, we are not ready until 5 years' time."
Well, you got children, right?
Yes.
Oh, good.
So we are not ready. Well, he's from Ondo State in Nigeria, but married a French girl. And he was going to start PhD. So he said, "No, I'm going into this program. It will take 3 to 4 years. So I don't even know what will happen, to my life in the next 4 years. I just know that I'll be going to school." We have agreed, and we know that this is what we are doing.
They had a conversation.
I think the guy is useless. He's a very useless guy. Jude is very, very useless. Because that means he didn't have conversation with his wife.
But you think we should throw all the blame on
two people have to.
We can't throw it on him because it's two people.
So tell me Diane's fault. Okay, tell me Diane's fault.
Our fault would be that she allowed it happen.
You get exactly.
Will you allow it happen?
You cannot be talking. You can't have a conversation with
yourself. No, that is how we say
you can talk to yourself, but you cannot have a conversation with yourself. You can talk to yourself.
Oh, wait, is that what it is?
No.
She allowed it. There's no better
Do you know how many women are going through that? She allowed what? She allowed what?
See,
she's incapacitated.
You mean
don't say that.
The
She's
first one,
incapacitated.
the second,
she's
the third one,
let me
the
say it
fourth,
this way.
the fifth.
Let me say it this way. Yeah, they both had a say in the marriage, and they are both decision makers. She has to agree to whatever is she's saying they have to come to a middle ground. So if she keeps allowing him, and she keeps going by whatever it is that he says, she's allowing.
Yeah.
I feel you guys are just being biased.
No.
No.
So
it's
how
not.
many years does it take to? I don't know how it works anyway. How many years does it take to perform 6 abortions?
Well, you can do that in the space of. You can even do that in the space of a year.
6 abortions.
Yes.
These people are really shooting sharp. So, but then, if you just in a marriage, you are just going in, going out, going in, get pregnant, and
And go
remove
out.
the baby and all of
removing.
that, without doing anything about it.
Anything.
I mean, it's crazy.
Well, I feel okay. Okay, let me take that with you guys a little. The man made it point clear that he was not ready. So, but everybody is coming for the man. The people are not even pointing at Diane.
For the fact that he was not ready, the mother make the point that he would have used what? A protection. But
Well-
now you, as the lady, you know he's not ready. And each time he calls for you, you go in.
Where are you supposed to go before?
No, because you know the whole thing will still bounce back on you. It's still coming down for you.
So I feel both of them share the blame.
you get.
Yes,
So it's,
yes.
it's on the both sides.
Unfortunately, some guys, I'm sorry to say, don't deserve.
Don't worry.
wife. You
Men
are not
supporting
supposed
men.
to.
Men supporting men now.
You are not supposed to. You are not supposed to hand over your daughter in marriage to some guys out there.
Exactly.
How do they know?
Ah,
When they will look fine like this, you know, they will
That-
look fine.
that
I'll
is-
wear
Why you
shirt
need
and-
to
I'll wear
put
tie. But I'm sorry, but they will look fine. They will come.
but you know that's the reason why. You see, look at our culture. So people want to get married, and you are planning. Someone said by the time a girl is 5 years old, she already has a picture of what her
What
wedding
the,
should
yes,
look.
saw that and that song.
Okay, all right. So why do you think we have all those traditional this, traditional that? There's an uncle that you are speaking to here. There's another person that somebody somewhere is supposed to notice something.
Mhm.
Let's imagine that you missed all the conversation. Someone will call you and ask you a question, and then you realize that I don't know anything about this one. You say, how come you are getting married and you didn't find out about this? You know, there is no way you will go through all this process and you will not get. You know, this is. I wish I could say this in English.
Okay.
I mean,
Yoruba.
in Yoruba we
I'll
say.
interpret for you.
You interpret. Thank you very much. Wọ́n ní olè ò ní jàgbá kó má ṣe é lójú fèrè.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Over to you.
Okay.
The thief will not do and do
The
fere.
thief-
You know,
Thief will not thief adults.
Adult.
And
And do
fake
fere.
somehow.
Now.
you will know, you will have, there must be a light somewhere, a signal that tells
There's
you
always
that
a proof that this is who this person might be.
it may not be a
Okay,
proof, it may just be a
factual.
signal.
Let's work with factual. You know, he's very analytical and statistical. Statistical. All right. So what went from with the two of them? Let's put it on the table. What went wrong with the two of them?
I think in a marriage, there has to be a man and there has to be a woman. Obviously, Jude met the woman of his dream, but he wasn't ready to be a man.
I'm glad you said that because we are beginning to turn to.
As a matter of fact, he wasn't ready to take the responsibility that our society expects of a man. So it's possible for us to just be friends and we wait until you are ready. When you are ready, we know that you are ready. Because this was not about wanting to bring babies alone. It was actually not taking all the responsibility. It wasn't paying the bills. It was demanding money. Exactly. If you don't have a job, you should look for a job.
It's not easy to get a job.
He wasn't making effort.
Right.
She just said that you should begin to sell a pass.
So I he said when he was telling the mom that he saw how the mom struggled to raise them and all of that. So for me, I think it's a foundational issue here. And they just felt, okay, he wasn't ready to get there. When that mom struggled to raise them and all of that. So he felt, oh, I have to have this amount of money to. So that means he didn't talk about it that the dad was not in the picture.
Yeah.
Probably didn't have anybody
And
to
he lived for
model what a man should look like in marriage for him. He lived with a mom. And there's something missing in his life. at that point, so they didn't know what to do. And that is where when people want to get married, they go for the right marriage counseling and
Counseling.
learn. So probably those things were missing. So I'd say it's foundational. And then at the end of the day, it started affecting. But then again, the lady should have stood her ground to say no to it. Should have called people's attention to it, and it don't get that bad. That should have after about 5 pregnancies. So both ways they have blames to bear.
Yeah, blames.
But then again, if we look at it closely again, it's not a picture of a guy that came from a balanced marriage, as it were, you know. And probably the lady had an issue of when you are married like this, keep this to yourself.
Yeah.
Because the boss was trying to say, what are you going through? Talk. I keep
I was even expecting
share.
ready to
And like Emperor said earlier, we need to talk and
Yeah.
share,
Yeah.
you know, and say things out so they can have solutions to all of these things that are going through.
There's something else that came to my mind as we were talking.
Yes, sir.
One of the problems that we have is that, you see, everybody begin to look at marriage as the escape from their realities. But marriage is not supposed to be an escape. It is what you are right now that you will take into your marriage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a girl who doesn't have a good home, who's, having whatever issues in her life, wants to get married and expect that this marriage I will finally escape home. So when she start facing issues in the marriage, there is nowhere to go back to. There is nobody to talk to, because even the daddy and the mommy that you want to talk to. Now, someone who wants to escape into marriage, I think what I have noticed, I stand to be corrected, and this may not be 100% of the time, is that this guy will bypass, the lady is likely to bypass protocols. The guy that you get married to, he didn't even know your elder brothers. He did not even meet your uncle. He didn't meet any man. He's just treating you, handling you as if it's me and this girl.
Yeah.
It's me and this girl. There are times when, I don't mean uncle should harass the guys, but there are times when you just say, my uncle asks after you. The guy is at start pouncing. And what did uncle say? The girl has not reported anything. But the guy is just thinking that, did she go and report me to uncle? So I know there was a guy I was chatting with on WhatsApp. After our conversation, the guy said, then he called the lady and said, I spoke with this person. Until the end of the conversation, I thought you reported me.
Imagine. We actually said it in the first place that it's good to always have someone that you can be accountable to.
Like couples
That
in
you
marriage,
get
have
couples
someone
in marriage should always have someone that you're accountable to.
both sides.
You get.
Like
That's-
for me, my ever has one, I have one, and then we both talk, and sometimes they even talk behind me. I guess we should talk about
That's
it.
one part I
exactly.
mentioned that we need those third parties in our life. We even call them third parties. We call them mediators.
Yeah.
It depends on the angle we're actually looking at it from. It depends on the angle.
Well, from the angle of being accountable.
Yes.
So for me, when it's naughty, when it's really looking difficult, I just can call and say, okay, this is the situation. How do you think we should go about this? It gives me ideas. Then I sit down, I look at my wife, look at the best way to go about it, and then it resolves itself.
Exactly.
And it just goes like that. So because I know that some people have might be before me, like Emperor. So we need to learn from them.
Exactly.
Learn from the others. So you can keep going smoothly, because we really can't. You can't successfully go through a path you have not been through if you don't have people that know you. So that's what they call mentor. Men taking you on a tour of a landscape. The path.
That's it.
So they take you on the tour. They show you how it works. You're accountable to them, and they encourage you. The person I'm accountable to, there was time I was going through a rough spell in marriage. I didn't want to tell him. 2 a.m. in the midnight, just sent me a song that the Lord said you should hear the song, and the song will solve the problem. And then I was praying, and the Lord just asked him to reach out to me, and I didn't want to talk to him, and if eventually we spoke. So for me, that's the spiritual angle again. If these are people that can cover spiritually, when you are going to rough spell, and the people to just tell them they are called. reach out to them. To just pretty much resolve, because there are times that I'll not even lie. I don't feel like talking to anybody.
Yeah.
There are times like that, definitely.
I don't want to. I just want
So
to.
we
just
don't
want
have
to
to.
be,
We don't have to talk to them every time.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk
For
to
what
them
reason?
every
Except probably when it's
because
beyond.
some people are this mentor and mentor suite you are talking about. Right? Some people have actually use it to even
They
put their
bastardize
because
yes.
any small thing like this, they tend to go and talk. I want to go and talk
Even
to my
issues
mentor.
they can
I
actually
want to go
resolve.
and, you know, even
Yeah.
issues they can easily resolve on their own. They
Yeah.
talk to their mentor, and what works for mentor might not actually work for you at that particular
Exactly.
time.
I like the angle we are talking about now, you know, like bringing third parties. I was just wondering that, you see, these third party things, can your pastors and your spiritual parents even become third parties in your marriage?
Yes.
They can.
And do you know, what I have seen is that people, you know, some wives, they go behind their husbands to speak to pastor, and pastor already knows everything.
Everything.
In fact, what your husband is going to do next month, pastor
They
already
do.
knows. Because if she has not told pastor and pastor prays about it, she does not believe it's going to work.
Yeah.
So this is where I have issue. I've had experiences, personal and then with other people, where pastors have not done a good job in that regard. You know, in the interview, you gotta felt let pastor know as an idea, and there's a way it affects the communication between the man and the wife. So personally, for me, I feel that I like someone that is totally neutral, that really even I don't see often. We don't have a common ground.
Non-partisan.
I'm not. We don't see like regularly.
there's-
Maybe he lives far away in some other country that I just sent a message and a reply and he ends there.
Don't worry. People
Because
can
when it
find
comes
out
to
from any
this,
part of
now,
the
because
world.
when
There's
it
kind
comes
of
to
They can try to help
when
our
it comes to
spiritual
people you
leaders.
see regularly, maybe every week, every
You don't
time.
even need to see them before they cause havoc in your homes, though.
There's a mix up. Some people they believe since he's a pastor, I
It's
can
their
talk
part,
to.
yeah,
I can talk to.
And that is
And you know,
It's a safe space.
these people are spiritual. They are not professional in this aspect that we are talking about. They tend to, when you go to them sometimes, they tend to say, "Oh, prayer, lama fishing."
Exactly.
And you know,
There's something
right.
I
It's
say.
good to pray.
Common
It is
sense.
good to pray.
You know,
it is not
There's
bad.
something I say
Yeah.
that there's the pastor of I have the pastor of my church and I have my pastor. There are two different things. The pastor of my church that I go to and then I have my pastor.
Yeah.
There are two different things.
Yeah.
But based on relationship. If you
What Oladrisi was saying, a friend of mine likes to say this, that when all that you have in your hand is a hammer, everything starts to look like nail. You see this thing, you will
You
nail
just
it.
it.
When you have headache, you go to the pastor. When your baby is having stomach upset, you go to pastor.
Pastor.
Even you are having some pains. Maybe you have a fibroid that is already
Run to
more than
pastor.
16
I
millimeters.
do that when my children.
Run to pastor.
Your pastor will shrink it.
So pastor
prayer.
does not even know that you have fibroid. Even you don't know. You just say, pastor, my tummy is always turning me.
And you know, this
Forget
pastor
this.
of
It's
a
always
thing.
calm.
This pastor third party of a thing. When you tell pastor tells his wife.
Yeah.
Wife tells this.
Pastor.
wife tells third
Yeah, I
person.
thought you
So that you-
You see,
And the
that's
funniest part is, even on pulpit, they might tend not to mention your name.
Yeah,
But we know
know
yourself.
You know that
You don't know.
Give you as an example.
This one is not a problem for me. Like when
Yeah.
you don't have the real solution to your problem. You know, when you don't have, for example, I'm looking for money. Instead of me to look at, hey,
What
Oladisi
can
will
I
give
do?
me
What can I
20K.
do? Yeah.
Bimbola will
Just
give me
get
20K. And I go to pastor. Even pastor has not paid his child school fees.
Yeah.
10 people are going to pastor for money issues.
God.
You are mounting
That's
pressure
why
on
people say
pastor.
they don't
And
stop
also,
pastor. They
so,
don't stop them to
Can I
have
say that
bigger.
exactly.
we need to stop amplifying this thing about pastor?
They have issues
solve
too.
problems. You know,
Yeah,
every
They do.
pastor can encourage you. Don't think pastor is going to solve all your
problem.
problems.
Exactly.
All your problems. For example, you need to talk to your husband
Mhm.
and, you know, iron out issues
No.
together. Instead of talking to your husband, you go to
Went
pastor.
He's
Pastor.
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 No.
And
Pastors can never be on
If you are not careful, maybe pastors will find. I don't know.
This
even before they enter the other
some
room.
people it is pastors
So that is where I say that there should be boundaries.
there must
So when there are issues I need to resolve with my wife, I resolve them.
See,
And then if there are issues that we need to pray about, we have people that we are accountable to that
Let
can
me
pray
add this. Let me add this. Do you know that some people have accidentally gone into the hand of the wrong guys?
Wrong, guys.
You know, you are talking to pastor. Pastor now knows that I'm everything to this lady.
Yeah.
You know, some people collect their pension and they take it to pastor.
yeah, sure.
So at the end of the day,
some pastors will come for you.
praise God.
But reality, it's what is actually
No,
happening.
but it's what is happening.
Yes, what's happening?
And the Yoruba people say that the bad people have spoiled the good
The good
people.
people.
Yeah, so permit me to say it that way.
Hey,
Thank you very much. No, so you when pastor start telling you to come to a place or for a program without telling your husband,
you should know
that third
something is
party has
wrong.
become fourth party.
In fact,
It has gone beyond third party. It has become
what about Shelley?
this one.
Oh my God,
Oh
this
my.
episode is really hot, and I'm sure you're really enjoying it. But we have to go.
Gotta
So,
go.
Gotta go.
we don't want to go, but we really must get goodbye, our friend.
And if you don't want to miss any of our episodes, keep watching.
I'm shaking.
Keep watching and make sure you follow us on all
Oh,
our social media platforms.
platform.
You're going to meet us again. For
Um,
now, see
Oh,
you.
yeah, but start sign up now.
Papi,
Have some.
papi.
All right. Please don't. What's that word now? Don't live in silence. Talk about it. Reach out.
Speak
Be
out.
accountable to. Don't be boxed by religion. And your marriage has to be happy. The family has to be happy. See you around.
Sure, Mama.
Okay, yeah. So in everything, marriage, think of yourself first. Then
Selfish.
you just have to have a conversation. You have to talk. You have to have a conversation. It's very important. And when you are choosing a mentor, make sure you choose your mentor.
The mentor that is not so pepperish.
Don't use the one that has a very high beat.
I made so.
Yeah, just choose your mentor wisely. And I remain Olabisi.
Oh, and B.
And always make sure you always create boundaries in any relationship. Don't bring friends to, don't mix things up. People that you're supposed to make as friends, make them as no. Make sure you always create boundaries and remain your beautiful queen.
B. Emperor now, stand out.
Yes, I would just say that I'm sure you enjoyed this episode, and more episodes are coming. Please stay tuned on all our platforms. Peace.
Peace. All right. So MJ signing off here. Peace. 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 Peace.